The panic inside the Democratic Party has officially reached code red. When mainstream media figures like Joe Scarborough and lifelong liberals like Bill Maher are openly admitting their own party has been hijacked by the radical left, you know the DNC is in serious trouble. Over on The Five, Greg Gutfeld and Dana Perino completely tore apart the Democrats' attempt to hide their socialist agenda behind a moderate mask. Before we dive into Gutfeld exposing the DNC playbook, smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe right now. Let's get right into it.
Abdul El Sayed campaigning like a commie in camouflage, backing policies like Medicare for all and abolishing ICE, but denying that he's a socialist snake in the grass at the final Democratic debate.
When it comes to the question of socialism, I'm not a socialist. I'm just a capitalist who understands how capitalism works. The biggest threat to capitalism was never the idea of government regulation. It was always monopoly.
And after the new DSA co-chair's insane platform went viral, some Democrats in the media are begging them to cut the commie nonsense.
This is not a big tent kind of like, well, abolish prisons, abolish the border, abolish the presidency, abolish the Pentagon. I mean, these are crazy people.
That's a huge problem. These are views that are, I think, represented by a very small amount of individuals.
Some of this DSA stuff, let's be very clear, Stephanie, is way out of touch.
If Democrats want to make America more affordable, more fair, and more free, and I think they do, they better speak truth to its most extreme base, or they're going to let a small faction of radicals drive more people toward Donald Trump.
So finally, Greg, some Democrats are starting to stand up and say, whoa, slow down.
It's not just that, though. You have a socialist denying that he's really a socialist. And it's a thing that is unique to the spectrum of the left. From the centrist liberal to the ultimate socialist, they always walk back their beliefs at every chance. You rarely hear a right-winger go, oh, I'm not that conservative. You never hear that. But how many times have you heard a liberal, Jessica, say, I'm a liberal, but I'm not crazy like those nutbags?
I'm not.
But it's like, it's because you kind of innately know that leftism is loony and out of step with mainstream thinking that you have to go, yeah, I'm a little nutty, but I'm not that nutty. Meanwhile, we call, you guys call us Nazis, but we get rid of our Nazis. We don't push them into the Senate and hope they win. Right now, what I find is that the DSA is saying exactly what they are to everyone. And they may be the most honest leftists about what they want. They're saying what they want to take over. They're saying what they want to tax. They're saying what they want to ban. And it reveals an essential truth about socialism and, I would say, the slower socialism called Democrats, is that it's all top-down social engineering, and it cannot exist unless you enforce it aggressively, which means it is antithetical to human nature. If this stuff was so innate, why do you have to force it down our throats? Capitalism doesn't need a movement.
It's really about degree. You guys say, you're not communists. They say they want to blow open the border, but Biden did it. You guys say, you don't want to abolish prisons, but you guys do cash bail. You commit a crime, you get right out. I mean, so it really is about how fast you go.
Yeah, well, that links to what Greg was saying, where he said, you don't hear conservatives saying, well, I'm not that conservative. And so I wrote down some policy positions that mainstream conservatives take in opposition to the most conservative position, like being for IVF. For instance, the most conservative position is shouldn't be allowed. Mike Pence is out there talking about how he got his family. That heartbeat bills shouldn't be implemented on a statewide level. You have that in 13 states, I think, at this point. But mainstream conservatives are like, 6 weeks seems early. You can't even get a scan. That immigrants who have been in this country and productively contributed and not broken our laws on our land should not be deported. And gay marriage. The financial disclosures issue for Al Sayed, I think, is actually going to hurt him. So he had been fighting releasing this information, and it came out that he owns all of these properties abroad, and they were passed down to his wife. They're in Bangalore and in Dubai, and they're making a few $100,000 off of being a landlord. Those are the kinds of things that I think people do glom onto when you've been railing against the 1% and saying, you know, this is about America first. Everything's about Michigan, but you're a landlord abroad. Or that his wife, who is a psychiatrist, doesn't accept Medicare, but you're for Medicare for all. So the Stevens camp is definitely trying to make something of that.
Just now an outward fight breaking out between especially Fetterman, who's just taken the lead now, and he's gonna crush these guys if he can.
Fetterman had a great line today. He called El Sayed the Pontiac Platner. And, you know, as Donald Trump has proven, like, a nickname can work because it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. For example, El Sayed has had pivots before. He was asked about lying about being a physician, and he said, it's not about whether I'm a doctor, it's about whether you can see a doctor. And even the interviewer was like, I don't think that's going to cut it. So one of two things is happening. Either he has seen polling that says he feels very good about his position in the primary, and he knows that it is a major loser in the general. Mike Rogers is the Republican. He only lost by, I think, 17,000 votes the last time he ran statewide. In a recent poll, it said like Syed would lose to him by about 10. Haley Stevens would make that race competitive, be about tied. Or he's realizing that he doesn't have enough votes in the white, what do we call them, the awfuls?
Yeah.
That there's not enough awfuls. I have a piece of hair on my nose. That there's not enough awfuls to get him across, and enough people in Dearborn.
Fluent white female lips.
Exactly. The other thing is, when you were talking, it reminded me of Joe Biden, right? He was supposed to be the guy's get back to normal, just total normal Democrat. And what happened when he got into office? He was like, let me just reveal my true colors. So I love that the DSA true believers will come on and tell you exactly what they think. This morning, Faz Shakir said, well, you know, Dana, that's like not really what people think. I'm like, I'm not making it up. She said it. So they're going to have to answer for it.
Greg Gutfeld hit the nail on the head. The establishment Democrats and the Democratic Socialists of America want the same outcome. The only difference is the DSA says it out loud, while the DNC tries to sell it as moderation. Joe Biden ran as a moderate, then governed from the left. Look at candidates like Abdul El Sayed in Michigan. They lecture hardworking Americans about class warfare and government takeovers while sitting on millions in real estate. Meanwhile, it's refreshing to see someone like Senator John Fetterman actually pushing back against the DSA wing of his own party. And notice the double standard when Jessica Tarlov tries to equate immigration enforcement with radical anarchy. Mass deportation of people who broke federal law is law enforcement. Abolishing ICE, defunding the police, and emptying prisons is a completely different conversation. Socialism has failed in every single country it has ever been tried in human history. The American people do not want bureaucratic control, skyrocketing taxes, and open borders. We want hard work rewarded, law and order restored, and an economy built on free market capitalism. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, share this video everywhere to spread the truth, and subscribe so we can keep calling out this leftist agenda. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the moderate Democratic Party is officially dead? See y'all in the next one. Bye.